Good morning, gang. Joyce with Skipping Calves Farms here. I apologize for being offline for a little bit. I've been under the weather. It's been about a week and a half, since I've really been feeling myself. So I do apologize for that. Um, just kind of wanted a little catch up um, on what's going on. It's a beautiful day. Look at that sky. Isn't that amazing? Anyhow, um, this is my peach tree, my A-Bear peach tree. It has not done well with the drought. It had lost almost all its leaves. It looked like it was going to lose the rest of them. Was able to get a little bit of water and phosphorus on it. I had gotten a little bit of calcium on it earlier, about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. And it's still looking pretty sad, but at least I've got some green. The green on the leaves is still there and looking good. I'm hoping to get a little bit of water under it. 3 weeks ago, all of my comfrey was just flat on the ground, and I think one of the main reasons it's doing better now is our temperatures have cooled off a little bit. And so if you can look and see, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up like your mind's eye does, but if you look at my pants, here's my knee, and here's the top of my boots, and my pants are soaking wet from the top of my boots all the way down to the ground, and it's 10ish in the morning. So, and there is still dew all over. So since I've left so much foliage above ground, it's capturing a lot of that dew. And a lot of that dew, I think, is soaking in a little bit. And it's not burning off quite so fast because it's not quite so hot like it has been. I took down most of my fencing. I put this back up because I just kind of wanted to see how it looked and how it'd work for doing a narrower alley. I'm going to cut the width of this alley about in half. But here on my neighbor's place, just across the property line, they planted these two evergreen trees a couple, 3 years ago. And it looked like early-ish in the spring, maybe a possum or something had climbed up on this one. And you can kind of see where it's mottled. That's where it kind of had gotten burned down. But I think now both of these trees have just about lost it because it's gotten dry. They're kind of on a little tiny relative high. You can see over here, between here and that camper, right along here, there's a little bit of a low spot, and it goes down to the creek here, and then it also comes down and goes to the creek here. But relative to that, there's just a little tiny relative high. So you can see that the grass up in that shadow, just about where that shadow is greener than it is on this side. And I think that has to do with it being sloped. It'll be sloped and then it's kind of flattening out. And so it's green just right there at the base of that slope where it flattens out. And then the water is not going to flow out of there as fast. So anyway, that takes, that kind of covers that. I'm fixing to, hopefully, Lord willing, maybe get a little bit of a soil drench with some phosphate on part of the pasture, either later today or tomorrow. We are due to get a little bit of rain on Sunday. It's about the only third or half of an inch. We haven't had any rain in a couple of weeks, and it doesn't look like we're going to have any more for another couple of weeks. So I do want to try and get that down if I can. What I'm doing now is where I had put up these offsets around my trees, I'd used old wire, but I used some pretty good step-ins. And I'm going back through, and now that I've seen how the sheep react to it, and what my supply situation is, I'm going back through, and instead of putting 4 step-ins out, I'm just going to be doing 3, pretty much all the way around. So that's what part of my chore is this morning. And what I'm going to try and do is, if at all possible, I'm going to be using these old unbranded step-ins. These were ones that I got. I got these first before I got the O'Briens, by about a year, I guess. But they're just not as flexible. They're just not as durable, and the metal spike is bigger, so it's harder to get in and out. But if I'm putting it here around a tree, and I'm using it with wire that doesn't have power to it anyway, it doesn't matter. So that's kind of what I'm doing now that I have a short break with no sheep on the property. I'm going through and resetting these, so they should be good to go for the entire grazing season next year. So that's one of the chores that I'm working on this morning, and it's always a little bit of something. But what a beautiful day. It's probably 60-ish. It was in the 50s earlier in the day, and it's supposed to get up to about 80, I guess. And but it's a beautiful day. Fall is a pretty time of year. Spring's my absolute favorite, but fall's not a bad second place. So with that, gang, I will wish you blessings for the day, and whatever you do, just keep chasing your dream.